Like you, we've grown a lot of different petunias over the last few years.
I know tons of petunias by different brands, but these are going to be in our garden every year now from here on out.
Hey, we're Sean and Allison from Spoken Garden, and thanks for being here. So we're really excited to talk to you today about petunias.
I know.
And we've talked about petunias in the past, but...
This is just a fun new year for us. We've been growing a lot of different petunias this year specifically. Like we mentioned, we've grown them for years, but like this year we have a lot of different brands we're growing around the garden.
We want to introduce you to Surfinia Petunias from Suntory Flowers. They were nice enough and generous enough to send us some to try out in our garden.
Yeah, let's get going. We can't wait to show you these. Okay, so we want to introduce you to all the colors we're growing this year and the different types, but then we'll talk more specifically about how we're using them a little bit later. So look at this gorgeous color. Now this is called Pink Veined. This is one of their trailing varieties of Surfinia. So you can see it's cascading down this container, and we have it mixed with some other plants, a calibrachoa, a coleus, a verbena. We have another Surfinia petunia in the back here, and this is called Giant Purple. And I don't know about Sean, this is one of my favorites, I think, that we're growing. It's so massive. Can you guys see how big that is in my hand? And then compared to, if I could grab this guy, compared to the normal size of Pink Veined, it's like double the size. So that's a really fun one, and I love the color.
All right, so what are the next petunias we have there?
Okay, so next door and actually over there too. Now, you guys, this is one of the favorites as well. This is called Sky Blue. This is a trailing Surfinia petunia, and what a gorgeous color. Don't you love that?
It is. It's so beautiful. It's so soft.
It's so soft, and it kind of like actually shows up kind of a little darker and fades to a little bit of a lighter color.
It does. I like the different shades of it too. It's a very unique, soft type of blue petunia flower.
It's gorgeous. It's a new color for us, so I love that we're trying this, that they sent this one to us. Got a lot more sky blue over here. We have mixed with some giant purple, because that's just, again, such a just attractive, just vibrant color. So that we thought that popped and looked really pretty together. Now over here we have red petunias, and this is one of their most compact growers. You can see how different and how like short the internodes are and how like just cute and compact they are compared to the trailers. So really pretty, vibrant red color. You know, red's not usually our color in the garden, right?
It's not.
We've got a few like beautiful things in red, but it's just not one that we normally choose.
I really like the contrast of the scavola with the red petunia, and then also the potato vine.
I know.
I mean, that potato vine just sets the whole thing off in the background. So it's a great color combination.
This was a lot of fun. And really we could have, one of our options actually for, I guess we'll get into more design later, but we could have done kind of like a red, white, and blue with these three. That would have been fun as well.
Yeah, maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
All right, guys, so these are my favorites of the Surfinia Petunias. These are part of the sumo series. They're called that because they get so big. If you think about sumo wrestlers, their size of them and what they can do, and they're big and strong, that's these petunias. Don't these look amazing? They literally, both of them, started out about that big when we got them. They were super tiny. They were like maybe 6 inches on center, maybe. Now look at them. They've gotten plenty of water, plenty of sunlight, a little bit of fertilizer, but not really much at all. I mean, we did some stuff with the soil, but look at them. So right over here, we've got glacial pink, and you can see that pink color, but then that uniqueness and just that veininess of that color, and it has almost a white kind of glow to it with the pink. Totally get it. Very glacial pink, very beautiful. On this side, we've got plum. And doesn't it look like the color plum? It's gorgeous. And it does have, even just like these have that glow to them, these also have a little bit of a glow to them, but it's a little bit different. It's that darker color. Now, these are specifically bred to be landscape plants. They're spreaders. They're bred to just literally just spread out and fill in a whole area. And they're doing their job really well here. Actually, they're going out into the grass, as you can see there, and they're actually crowding out these zinnias we have in the back and getting close to these glads. So these are beautiful, tough plants. Almost all of these petunias, they basically got kind of a little bit of a different shape of leaf. It's a little bit more round. It's not like the typical petunia shape of a leaf. These are a little bit more sturdy too. They're stronger, they're thicker. All these petunias have thicker stems, thicker leaves, and they're just tough. These are really tough. We've had some pretty good torrential downpours here so far this summer, And so they've taken that, all the hits of all those, that really heavy rain, but also all the really hot weather we've had. We've had almost 95 degrees here many days in a row. And with enough water, look at them. They thrive in it.
They really have. I've been so impressed of how they've filled in this area. This is exactly what we were hoping they would do. This was just a big open blank area.
It was.
And it's, as you can see, like Sean said, they're kind of like crowding out the zinnias, they're crowding out the sedum over here.
They're kind of crowding out each other.
We might need to cut them back just a tiny bit, but I kind of love it.
Yeah.
And my mom really loves it. This is her garden, so she's been really enjoying watching these grow and fill in. It's so colorful, especially with the glads in the background. It's just like this color explosion over here.
So as far as uses for your landscape in your garden, these are definitely ground or landscape spreaders. They fill in spots really well.
It would have been fun. We should have tried one of these in like some type of hanging basket just to see what they do, because they probably would be good for large containers as well.
Next year.
Yeah, next year.
Yep. So as you can see, we're in a different location of our garden. These are the same two plants I just showed you over on the direct opposite side of the yard. These are the same two. This is the same glacial pink, and this is the same plum. Now, the only difference is the actual location in the garden, where the ones I just showed you, they get at least 6 hours, probably more like 10 hours straight of full sun. These are lucky to get about 4 or 5 total hours of full sunlight each day. Now, you can see the difference between the growth in the two locations of these same plants, right? These are a little bit smaller. Actually, they're a lot smaller. They're not as filled in, and they look a little bit more stretchy, a little bit more stringy, and that's basically due to not getting enough sun. Now, this speaks really well to the adaptability and the overall beauty that these plants can still have, these Sumo Surfinia Petunias can still have in your garden, even under not the most optimal conditions. They're still blooming, they're still growing, they're nice, bright and green, but under these conditions, they will need a little bit more maintenance and a little bit of, trimming and pruning to get some of that stringiness out of here at a certain point when they get there. And when that happens, you'll actually help them grow more compactly, you'll help them look fuller, and they're gonna regrow and just look beautiful continually throughout the rest of the season.
I know, we kind of forgot that there was a sedum right off in the front here, which has ended up shading out that plum one behind it. You can really tell the plum's trying to like reach for the sunlight.
Yep, it's really growing up and it's growing out, and also it's got this big container over here that's shading it a little bit from the full sun. That's just about up. It's almost coming. You can see it's the line right here. It's just coming up on it. Now, it's funny. Yeah, when we planted these, that sedum was about this tall.
I know. Like, oh yeah, those grow taller.
Yeah, so they grow up, right? They grow from the crown, and each one of those stems is a new growth for the year, and then they'll die back down. So this is really fun to show you the location of these plants and the difference between the same plants and the other full sun location, because like you, we don't have full sun everywhere all over our garden, and so we have to make do with what we have. So for you too, if you're thinking about growing any type of petunia or any plant in your garden, but specifically these Sumo Surfinia Petunias, these are great for this type of situation where you might not have a full sun location, but they'll still do really well in those less optimal conditions, and you can still enjoy them.
Here's one other location we have all of these. We actually have 3 different trailing petunias mixed together because we thought it would be really fun to see, like, watch them trail, and you can see they've grown. This is pink veined, giant purple, and sky blue all together in one pot. We have a little care to do on these. For one thing, we packed way too many of them probably together in this small container, but it was so fun to watch them grow and trail. We want to kind of reinvigorate the growth on these, so we're going to need to trim these back and give these a bit of a haircut.
And this is part of any real petunia, any petunia out there. You're going to need to do this at a certain point in time during the growing season. It's just going to happen. So this is pretty normal for pretty much all petunias.
It is. Once we cut these back, these will keep blooming and growing through October in our Pacific Northwest area, so we really want to maximize that growth.
So we've pulled this container. You can definitely see the stringiness, the stretchiness. So like the Sumos, they weren't in a full sun location for at least 6 hours during the day or more. So you're going to have this type of growth, and that's fine. Even if you do have them in 6 hours or more of sunlight, at some point they might get a little stringy and they might stop flowering or slow down their flowering, and you don't want that. You want to reinvigorate them. So to take care of the stretching or the stringiness of the growth and to reinvigorate them, you can cut them back. and it's basically like giving them a haircut. And that's what we're gonna do. But before we do this, I wanna make sure you understand that when you do this, you're gonna delay flowering on that part of the plant where you cut by about a week and a half to 2 weeks, maybe a little bit longer under certain conditions if they're not getting enough water or enough sunlight or enough nutrients. So make sure they have all those if you can after you cut. I'm just gonna give them a haircut. I'm gonna try and cut them back to some type of node or some type of leaf pairing where they're at, so they'll grow from that certain point. We won't have a lot of stems sticking out, but I'm gonna go kind of fast. So that's what I'm gonna do. Here we go.
Already, but I was the one, I packed way too many petunias in one little tiny pot. I probably should have just put one, but I really wanted to put all the colors together. So that did lead, unfortunately, to some more maintenance, but it was so pretty.
It's okay, yeah. It's workable.
It's workable.
You know, it's okay. So yeah, so there you go, guys. So look what we have now. Like I told you, I gave it a haircut, and then here's everything I cut off of it.
That was a lot of plants.
So maybe you noticed, maybe you didn't in the video. There were some crispier parts that were on here, and as I was, you know, they're kind of green on they're really green on the ends with the flowers. But you get further into the canopy, they were getting a little crispy, old, and they were underneath. So what I did is I cut those really a lot further back underneath here, and then made sure that the green parts that I was cutting on kind of overlaid those crispier parts, so you don't see those parts or they're not as visible. So if that's something you need to do, there you go. That's a little tip. There we go.
All right, we thought it would be fun to end with a couple questions. I don't even know if Sean's ready for these yet, so here we go.
Okay, here we go. Sure.
Ready, everyone? Would you grow these again?
I would, and the reason I would is because these are prolific growers. They're spreaders. They're bred for a couple different places in the garden, and it's really working well in our garden. Yeah. This being even our first time growing them. Yeah, I would definitely grow them again. Would you grow them again?
I would. I totally agree with everything you just said. I really have been enjoying especially the sumos in the ground, but there's specific colors I really like because I love the sky blue. I would love to design this with a lot of other colors next season, next year. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you, were there any downsides to growing these that you can think of this year so far in our garden? Well, mainly, a little bit, maybe just because of our own space limitations. Like we had trouble like finding full sun areas to put them in. And granted, we are growing most all of ours in containers, so we can move them around, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But it was a little tough for us to we're borrowing space in my mom's yard. There's not a lot of tons of full sun available. So that was the only downside.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal though, right? I mean,
no, not really. The only downside I can see of growing these is just they grew almost too much. We didn't know what to really expect. I mean, you can read the label, you know, at the nursery or, you know, online, and that gives you a sense, but you never know until you place it out in the garden and give it everything it needs. And these have grown almost, in a way, too much where we were able to place them, and it's not a negative really at all. It's just we didn't know what to expect, so that was something to anticipate next year. To grow these, we'll definitely give them more room, more sun, definitely more water and fertilizer.
Speaking of, I would love, hopefully we'll be in our new location next year or soon, you know, maybe after that. I would love to see a border of sumos. Like the sumos were already growing in my mom's yard. I would love to see just lining a walkway. I think that'd be beautiful.
Sure, that'd be great.
So that's on our wish list for the future. Okay, last question, and this is for you guys as well. Let us know in the comments, what is your favorite color of all the ones we're growing?
I like the glacial pink. I think it's a beautiful color. It glows. It's so striking. I'm not usually a pink kind of guy. I'm kind of more of a blue, kind of masculine kind of thing, you know, with all my colors. But the glacial pink, it's so striking out in the garden. It draws my eye every single time. So what about you?
Oh, I see. I usually go for the pinks too. And I think in this case, I'm going to pick sky blue because I just love how different it looks and how fun it is to pair with all the other colors. I mean, I love them all. It's kind of hard to pick a favorite, but I think of all of them, this one to me is the most unique.
So let us know down below what your favorite colors of these petunias that we've introduced you to, these Surfinia Petunias. Let us know if you'd grow them in your yard, where you would set them. We'd love to know.
And to kind of wrap up, I don't know if we mentioned this yet, and we'll put this down in the description as well, but there are a few places you can find these online. Growjoy.com is where these all came from in our garden, and they came just beautiful and very healthy. They also sell a few of these on Proven Winners, so you can find those online and get those all shipped to you, and probably in your local nurseries too.
And if you just want to get more familiar with Surfinia Petunias, you can also go to suntoryflowers.com/Surfinia, and you can get to know all these different varieties really well.
I can't wait to grow these again next year. I'm already excited.
I know, we're already trying to think of where they're going to grow better next year and all these different things.
Can't wait.
So, hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We'd love to have you along our gardening journey and for us to be along yours. And also make sure to like and hit that bell notification so you can get an update and know when our next videos are coming out.
And with that, I think that's a wrap.
Yep.
So stay tuned for our next video and have a great day in your garden.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.